The Shiny Living Dex. It's my biggest goal in all of Pokemon Go. Now you might be curious, what exactly is the Shiny Living Dex? Well, it basically means that I want to have a Shiny of each and every different Pokemon, including their entire families. That doesn't mean it's registered to the Shiny Dex. It actually has to be in my possession. So in today's video, I'm going to show you everything I have in my Shiny Living Dex, and I'm also going to show you some of the stuff I'm missing. But for starters, we're going to bring you into the Shiny Pokedex, just so you can see where my numbers are at currently. Right now, I've currently caught 634 Shinies, and I've seen 637. And there are a few shiny Pokemon that I haven't even seen in a gym or anything like that aren't even registered in here. But I do gotta say, 634 is a really good number. But to show everything in my Shiny Living Dex, I've actually made a tag for it. We made it Shiny Living Dex. There we go. It's an autocomplete. And as you can see, we're at 704. And I know that's higher than 634, but the reason why is I am including forms in here, but I'm not including costume shinies. And to make this a little easier, instead of going through all 704 of them all at once, I can also do this. And Gen 1. Now, you don't have to put Gen 1, I could just put Kanto when it would bring everything up, but I specifically have tagged each of these Pokemon to have that Gen 1 tag on them. So let's dive in. I'm gonna make these first couple ones really fast though, because Gen 1 is pretty much complete. I have 150 out of the 151 original Kanto shiny Pokemon, but I am missing one shiny that I've yet to get, but hopefully we'll get it soon. And that shiny should be right around here, I think, but I might be wrong, but it is Kanto Farfetch'd. I have not managed to get my hands on one yet, and I've had quite a few offers to be given one in a trade and such, but to be honest with you, I really want to get it on my own. And luckily, coming up soon for the Osaka Go Fest, I will hopefully get my hands on one of them while I'm in Japan. I do find it kind of funny though when you go into the Shiny Dex here and I scroll down just a little bit to find the Farfetch'd. As you can see, it is registered in here, but the reason why it's registered in here is because I have the Galarian shiny, and it's a glitch where if you have the alternate form, not the main original form, it'll actually give you the shiny, which is kind of weird. But yeah, for now, we just need to get this guy and Gen 1 is completed. But if we put in Gen 2 now, you will notice that I have 115 of these shinies. And the reason why it's that number is because, again, we're putting forms in here, and with Gen 2, we have Shiny Unknown, which has quite a few forms. And as you can see, we have every single Gen 2 shiny Pokemon in here, but once we get to the Unknowns, you'll notice that there are a few missing here. Though I still say that I have completed the Shiny Dex in terms of Gen 2 in total, I still don't have every single form, but everything else I have. And the ones that took me the longest out of all Gen 2 to complete were definitely this Remoraid and this Octillery. It was the hardest thing for me to find Remoraids where I live. When I was visiting Hawaii, I got very lucky, but yeah, everything else was decently easy to get, and I'm very happy that we're officially done with Gen 2. Barring the unknowns, of course, but we're making decent progress on those. I mean, if we look right now, there are quite a few of them in here. I want to say the only Shiny Unknowns I'm currently missing are Shiny Unknown D, because it did show up for the London Worlds, and I feel like there's something else that's just out of my brain right now, but so far we've got pretty much all of them. Moving on to Gen 3 now, and I will say that I have every single Gen 3 shiny Pokemon except for one technically, but I'm still going to count that I've completed this. As you can see, we've got all the starters, we got all the basic mons. Moving in, we've got some of the more complex ones. Shroomish and Breloom were definitely very difficult for me. I only managed to get these during the Vegas Hoenn tour. And Shedinja here was technically the last shiny I needed to get besides Jirachi, because this one was really difficult for me to get. Until the Worldwide Hoenn tour, where some reason I just got a ton of them. But yeah, as you can see, we have every single Gen 3 shiny mon in here, including, of course, the Jirachi that is going to be at the very bottom right here. Sadly, this one did not turn out very good, but it is what it is. We've still completed it. But as I did mention to you, there was one thing I'm missing, and let me just scroll up to where they are right now. As you can see, I have Cast Form Normal, I've got the Sunny and the Rainy one, but I don't have the Snowy one. Honestly, I'm not letting it really bug me that much, because that one's really hard for me to get, especially where I live. I don't live in an area where it snows hardly at all. And foggy weather is very hard to come by, but yeah, so far we've got almost everything, and I do believe I am missing a couple of these shiny Spendas, but you know, it's kind of like a semantics thing at this point. But now let's move on to Gen 4, and this is a generation that I have almost every shiny of, but I am missing just one. As you can see, we've got the starters. I mean, all of those had a community day, including Starly, of course, and then there's the Bidoofs, we got the Cricketots, we've got everything from raids as well, we've got some babies, we got the fossil shinies. I've completed every single one of the Wormadam families and the Burmy family, including the Mothim, even a shiny Vespiquen, which I got extremely lucky with during Seattle Go Fest. And another big family that I completed that I'm really happy about is definitely this Cherubi one. I got this one specifically in Japan, and then I got the other two forms in Singapore during the whole Safari Zone. They were showing up in the wild, and I got very lucky with the evolution, because I only managed to get 2 Cherubis during that time, but I'm happy to say that's done. And as we keep going, you can see I've got pretty much everything else moving into the babies. We even got ourselves a Spiritomb. I've got the Munchlax, which I lucky traded with the Trainer Club. Sadly, this guy did not turn out really good, but I'm still happy I got the one. And as we keep moving, I've got the entire Hippopotas and Hippowdon lines done, both male and female, which was really difficult for me to accomplish. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, but I'm sure you may have noticed that I am missing one shiny Pokemon, and it has literally been the bane of my existence. And that shiny Pokemon I do believe is registered in my dex, but I haven't actually caught it myself, but I might not actually have it. Oh my goodness, I've never seen one of these ever? Well, the shiny is Shiny Mime Jr. I don't have that one yet, but luckily it is showing up in this next Instinct Heroes event, and I'm really hoping that I get my hands on it. It's in the 7-kilometer eggs, as well as the brand new shiny Mantike, which will also be great because Mantike is a Gen 4 baby Pokemon, so hopefully we'll get our hands on that as well. But other than that, we have every single Gen 4 shiny. As we move on to the Unova region, you'll see that we have quite a bit, 112 of them in here, and there's only a couple really different form changes in here, like the Pidove through Unpheasant line, but we've got the Pan Monkeys, we've got the Muna and Musharna, we got really lucky with the Blitzels, I even have a Shundo Gigalith, got very lucky recently with the Drillbur and Excadrill, I know I have the Novan Stunfisk in here somewhere, plus the Venipede, I got the Sock and the Throw. We've had some pretty darn good luck when it comes down to this generation, but as you can see, there is one thing I'm missing here. You can see that I do have a male shiny Frillish and the female, but I only have the Jellicent female. Luckily, I have a friend that has an extra shiny male who said that they don't care giving me the male, so eventually we will have that done as well. But keep scrolling through, you can see that we have pretty much every other shiny, but there are 4 shinies that are currently in Pokemon Go that I have not been lucky enough to get my hands on. And luckily, I do actually have a few of them registered. I don't have all 4 of them, but I do have 2 of them. And those are Tirtuga, obviously. I don't have a shiny Tirtuga, and I don't have its evolution even registered, Caracosta. And then the other one is Archops here, or Archon, obviously for its pre-evolution. I am also hoping to possibly get 1 or 2 of these things during the Instinct Heroes event. Apparently 2, 5, and 10-kilometer eggs will be boosted during this time for shiny rates, so hopefully I will get my hands on 1 of these too. But other than that, every other one has been registered, and if I really want to, I can see the male shiny Jellicent in the Pokedex, but obviously we don't have it in the shiny Living Dex just yet. And as we move on to the Kalos region, we've done pretty well. I mean, I even have a shiny male Pyroar. These are really hard to come by because females are far more common than the males are, and I think I got this one from an incense, which was really nice. But there is a really difficult task in here that I want to complete, and that is the shiny Furfrou complete form set. I'm only missing 3 forms right now, and I still need 2 more shiny Furfrous in order to complete all of them. I don't have the Lorraine form that can only be found in France, and I don't have the Diamond pattern, which is all of Europe, and I don't have the Pharaoh form, which can only be found in Egypt, which is going to be a difficult one for me to get to. But we've done pretty well with every other one of them, and my favorite definitely is the Japanese one, or the Kabuki one. Out of all the forms, this one is definitely close to my favorite, though I do think the Egyptian Pharaoh form looks the best, but obviously we don't have that. But moving on, as you can see, the Esper and Meowstic families are completed. I got both the male and the female. Spritzy from the Safari Zone. We got the Swirlix line, Inkay, Binnacle, we got very lucky with that one. Helioptile as well. We got ourselves the Sylveon. We got a Dedenne, which is really rare. I got very, very lucky with that one, and then I decided to lucky re-roll it, and it didn't turn out that well. When it comes down to the Pumpkaboo family, technically I have 1 of each of Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist, but clearly I do not have all the size forms. That will take some time. Bergmite through Avalog we're done with. Noibat, Noivern, we've also got the Xerneas and Yveltal, and that's literally everything from Gen 6. So I'm very happy to say we're doing really well with that one, but we still missing just a little bit here and there when it comes down to forms. But other than that, when it comes down to things that have been released, we got them. And now we're at the Alola region, and so far we have every single shiny from Gen 7. We have all the shiny regional variants, and then as we move on, I have all the ones that have been released. Most of these are boosted shinies. The only one that really hasn't been boosted that isn't just like a regional variant is the Yungoos specifically. That is the only full odds of all of Gen 7 so far. But as you can tell, there's not a lot of Gen 7 shinies out yet, and that's because it's a newer generation, so it makes sense. And finally, when we get to the Galar region, we have almost every single shiny variant that's available. So far, they only have regional variants as shinies in the game, including the evolutions like Obstagoon, but there is one that I'm missing out of all of them, and I've yet to be lucky with either of the Galarian forms. And that Galar regional variant is obviously the Galarian Mr. Mime, and then obviously its evolution, Mr. Rhyme, which I've been able to see both of them, but I don't have them clearly. Hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on one of these soon so I can have them for the shiny Living Dex. I'm assuming it's probably going to be during
during a December event of some sort. Though they used to show up for Elite Raids whenever you took those down. But till now, it's one of the few things that I'm missing, so it's whatever. We're almost at the end here. We have the Hisui generation. This is like 4.5, or I guess maybe 3.5 if you think about it, because they're all from the past. But there's only 3 of them out currently, and we have all 3 of them. The Bravery, which looks amazing. We've got the Avalog, which also looks pretty good. And then there's Ursaluna that we got for Community Day. Soon we're gonna have Cleavor, and I'm excited to get that one. It's also gonna be a boosted shiny rated Pokemon, so I highly believe I'm gonna get one. But for now, we only have 3. And lastly, we have Gen not available, because in the shiny decks and in the Pokedex, for some reason, Meltan and Melmetal just aren't part of any gen. Some people say that it's part of Gen 7, but in Pokemon GO, it's not specifically put in there, so for right now, we're gonna call it Gen NA until we figure out where it's from, or if it's the Pokemon GO gen, who knows what exactly it'll be. But we do have both Meltan and we have Melmetal. I have quite a few Meltans and Melmetals, so feels good to be done with those. And that's all my shinies in my shiny living decks, but I would love to know all of your shinies in the comments down below. Do you have something that I don't have? Please let me know in the comments down below so I can be jealous. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button as well, and if you're really enjoying the content and you want to see even more, I highly suggest this video right over here. But with that being said, I hope to see you in the next one.